Hello, what's up, and welcome to my channel. Today I am starting my reading vlog with spoilers for Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby. I am super excited to read this, and I was saving it for a good time that I had where I could appreciate the writing, you know, actually enjoy reading it and not just try and fly through it. And that time is now. Really quick, an update. I actually did have my egg retrieval for IVF yesterday, and I am feeling really good. I'm like 96% healed. I actually have like zero pain, just a little bit of soreness. I was on bed rest yesterday, but today so far I've been up and doing my regular tasks. I did just get the call from the clinic. So we originally had 34 eggs that we retrieved, which was an amazing number. But the doctor said that after looking closely at those, only 14 of those were mature. And out of 14, 12 of those fertilized. So that's where we're at right now. I'm not sure how long this reading vlog is going to take, but today is Sunday, February 20th. And on Friday, we're going to get the next call, and that's going to let us know how many embryos actually make it to the frozen stage. So they don't touch them, don't look at them until Friday, and then they're going to let us know. The doctor said probably about half will make it. So I am gonna be excited if I have 6 frozen embryos, and my frozen transfer will be happening in about 6 weeks. So in April, I'm hoping that I will be able to get pregnant. Thank you for everyone that has been following along on that journey. I'm not gonna talk much more about IVF other than if this vlog makes it to Friday, I will give you those updated numbers. But now we're going to focus on this book. So I actually don't know much about this. I've tried not to pay much attention and just kind of go into it. So I'll read just the very tiny print at the top where it says, a black father, a white father, 2 dead sons, a quest for revenge and redemption. And I am going to be listening to the audiobook. I'm gonna be doing like, you know, both, like reading and listening at the same time. This is also the buddy read I'm doing in my Patreon. So we are buddy reading this together, and you know, I update all my thoughts, everyone else updates their thoughts. It's actually really fun. And so, you know, you could be part of that. It's actually down below if you are interested in joining. I do tons more in my Patreon. I have Blind Date with the Book, where you get a surprise book of my favorite. You get to choose from like descriptive words. I do monthly themed exclusive bookmarks that are absolutely beautiful. Prizes off your wish list, reading sprints, so much more. So definitely go check that out. Because I don't have very much else to say, I'm gonna just go ahead and start reading this, and I'll update you with my first thoughts. I know I said I was going to listen to this book the other day. It's actually been a few days. Today's Wednesday. I ended up like reading some other books in between there because I just wanted to make sure I was in the correct mood to start reading this, because I know that this one is like super important topics. It's not really a book that I feel like you should fly through. I wanted to make sure that I was paying attention to the details, to the description. And so I actually started it earlier today. I was making my husband's lunch. I started packing his lunches for him. I love doing like bento box lunches, and I usually film them and do them over on my main channel. So I'll link that up above if you didn't know I had a main channel. Some homemade pimento cheese and just some veggies and stuff, something really easy. But I also started making dinner, and while I was making the bento box lunch, I actually had listened to 10 chapters of the book, but I felt like I wasn't quite understanding what was going on. So when I started making dinner, which is like sweet potatoes and onions and maple syrup and chicken, you like roast it all in the oven, I actually like rewound the whole book and started it from the beginning again. Sometimes I space out when I'm listening to audiobooks, especially if it's like the first like section of the audiobook, like you don't know anything about the characters, you don't know anything about the storyline. Sometimes I go back and listen to that twice just to make sure I know like what's being set up. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm about to fold a bunch of laundry. I have like laundry here that I didn't fold yet, and I washed the sheets and towels today, and there's actually a basket of laundry here. So I have a lot of folding to do, which is gonna be perfect for me to knock out more of this book. But right now I am back on chapter 6. So I am 9% in. I'm actually able to listen to this pretty fast. I'm at 2.35 times the speed. And the first time I was was listening to it, I was only at 2 times the speed. So it's actually like a pretty slow narrated audiobook in my opinion. I feel like I'm not really far enough in it to have too many thoughts, but this is about a black father and a white father, and both of them have sons that were murdered because their sons were actually married together. So both of their sons are gay, and specifically, I need to look up the actual names of these dads because I am getting them mixed up. I will say, I'm not quite sure which one is who. Okay, that's what I thought. So the black father's name, sorry, the son is nuts. So the black father's name is Ike. And he has been out of jail for 15 years. Actually, both of these fathers, I believe, are ex-cons. And then the white guy is named Buddy Lee. So Buddy Lee had the son Derek, and Ike had the son Isaiah. And both of them were like ashamed of their sons being gay. So that really pulls in. I'm actually really liking how like the LGBTQ plus talk is coming in with those big topics, but then also because of it being a black father, a lot of racist talk is coming up too. I actually really liked this one passage. I'm not sure, obviously it's between chapters 1 through 10, so there are spoilers in this vlog if you didn't know. So if you're not by chapter 10, probably don't watch this part. But it was talking about Ike's wife, and when they were at the funeral for their son Isaiah, Ike was getting really mad at the pastor because he kept like talking about like Isaiah's sins, and now that he's dead, like hopefully he's forgiven, and obviously that's talking about him being gay. And the father gets angry about that because he's like, why would you make his funeral like that? But his wife is like, why are you only like defending your son now that he's dead? Like, you were so mean to him and did not accept him, like with him being gay his whole life, but now that he's dead, you want to, you know, stick up for him and stuff. I thought that was a very eye-opening part of the book so far. I actually enjoyed like being like, hey, you know, that actually makes sense. Like, why are you only caring now that you lost your son, you know? I am in bed because of just things happening from my egg retrieval. Today is Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, and I had my egg retrieval on Saturday. So what is that, 6 days ago? I've been dealing with like some different symptoms. Like, I'm not in pain, but I have been dealing with like extreme bloating and stuff like that, and I thought that it was like a constipation issue. I read more about something called OHSS. It's actually pretty, I would say, prevalent with IVF because it's like the over hyperstimulation of your ovaries, and I was a good contender for that just because of my age, how many eggs that they retrieved, how high my estrogen was when I had my retrieval, all that kind of stuff. But I felt so great the first 2 days after my retrieval. I didn't even think anything of it, and my clinic didn't even give me like paper to be like, hey, watch out for this. But then by like days 3 and 4, and then definitely like yesterday, I started just feeling worse, and my stomach is so incredibly bloated, like it feels like it's going to pop, and it's really hard for me to like eat or drink because I just feel like this like pressure, just like there's nowhere for the food and the water to go. So I finally called my clinic today, and they're having me come in tomorrow. They're gonna probably do an ultrasound and see, because what that means is that the fluid in my ovaries and follicles is like leaking into my abdomen, and it can be a pretty serious issue if you have it really bad or if you just don't like watch your symptoms. So they are bringing me in to just check up on me and see what's going on. I feel like my face feels really hot, but I had like a thermometer back from when I used to take my temperature for ovulation, and I was right under 99. so I don't know why my face is like that and why my cheeks are so hot and red. I am supposed to be just chilling in bed, drinking a lot of Gatorade, drinking pickle juice, like trying to get a whole bunch of electrolytes, eating protein, all that kind of stuff. So I decided to just read, you know, because why not? I continued reading Razorblade Tears. I am now on chapter 21, so it's about 115 pages in. I am just not loving it. I'm not very much interested in it. I feel like it's one of those books that you read a big section, but you're like, I have no clue what's going on, or did anything even happen? That's how I feel. It almost feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie, but in book form. Like, I feel like my husband, he's not a reader at all, but I feel like if this was in the movie format, he would love this, because there's like a bunch of violence. Buddy Lee and Ike are murdering people because they're trying to figure out like who murdered their own sons. And I don't really feel like the book has made me care about who murdered the sons, if that makes sense. Like, yes, I guess it's a slight mystery, but it almost feels like just kind of not women's fiction, but like just literature in general, like general fiction, I guess, because it feels like there are underlying messages that I'm just not quite getting or understanding. I obviously know there are hard-hitting topics in here, but I just feel like I'm missing a lot of the story. Like, I'm such a literal person, like, just give it to me straight. So I always have a really hard time with books when they don't give it to me straight. But I'm gonna continue reading, and I will update you guys on my next section, because I stop every single time at the sections. I have it broken down for my Patreon, since this is my buddy read. So every time I get to like a new section, I stop and I update you on my thoughts, so that way I can update my Discord channel on the thoughts. Okay, I am now 50% of the way through Razorblade Tears. I actually got up for a little bit to make Alvin's lunch for tomorrow. I was listening to it. I bumped it down to 2 times the speed because I was just listening to it while I was putting the lunch together, so I didn't have the book. I still don't have too many thoughts. I just don't see myself liking this book at all at the end. It was an interesting conversation though. They went to a gay bar and they were talking to someone there, and the conversation was about whether or not it's, what would you say, like worse to be gay or to be black. Like, they were talking about like racism and prejudices in general, especially in the South, because this book's in Virginia, and it's actually they were talking about how they're in Richmond, which is actually only like 2.5 hours away from me. But it was interesting to hear like their thoughts on, is it the same? I mean, obviously being black and gay, that has to be hard, but their conversation was, oh, like if you're black, it's not like you can hide it. You know, everyone sees that you're black. But then the other argument was, okay, if you're gay, like, how is that fair for you to hide it and not be yourself? So like, it was very interesting, you know, the conversation that they had in the book. So that was a good part. But just a lot of the background stuff, like, I'm not really caring about. So I think I might take a break on reading more of it today, since I got to 50%. It's been a few days. I'm still trying to get through Razorblade Tears. If this was not for a buddy read, I would DNF it. It is totally, I guess I just didn't know what it was about. And if I would have like done more research on it, or I guess asked more people about it, I would have known that this book wasn't for me. But I am just so incredibly bored. This definitely feels like more of a, like, it would probably be pretty good as a movie, because there's like so much dialogue in this book, and Ike and Buddy Lee are just constantly like traveling, meeting other people to try and figure out like who killed their gay sons. And I just am not interested. Like, I'm not really interested in knowing. I'm not interested in all the characters. There's like tons of characters, and I don't know. This book is just not for me. I feel like I'm probably gonna rate it 1 star at the end because I don't know. I just am not loving it at all. It's like totally not a book that I would ever think of reading if I knew that it was about this. I don't know. It's not even like the content that it's about. Like, I like the content of it. It's the way that it's written. I just feel like it's very boring, and there's just a lot of like, it's just a lot of talking, and it's a lot of talking about things that I don't care about. Like, I don't care about the connections. I don't care about the fight scenes. I just don't care about any of it. I don't know, it's probably a me problem. It does match my sweater though, so that's pretty cool. But I'm on page 211. I'm on chapter 32, so I only have this much left, probably like a third of it left. I am currently doing a reading sprint for Patreon, and I'm hoping to be able to, I might not be able to knock it out totally on this reading sprint, but I just like can't wait to get to the end. And I feel so bad because it's like, this is supposed to be a reading vlog, and I feel like I don't have a lot of thoughts about it because I just don't care about what's happening. And I also feel bad because it's my buddy read, and I feel like I also don't have a lot of like thoughts or content. Like, it's not even like one of those books that you like hate and despise, so you have a lot of things to say about it. It's just not the book for me, so I feel like I'm reading like a history book that I don't care about. Maybe my buddy read will be better for next month, and I can make up in that reading vlog and that buddy read discussion. Okay, I finally finished Razorblade Tears. Gosh, I could not wait for this book to be over. I feel so bad in saying that, but I just went to Goodreads, and I'm not the only one. I mean, I do see a lot of rave reviews for it, but I also see a lot of people DNFing it. As someone else said on there, it feels like a boys book, and I don't know if I said that on this video or somewhere else, but I also said the same thing, where it feels like this is definitely written for men. But I'm rating it 1 star, guys. Like, I just didn't love any of it, and I was just waiting for it to be over. I feel really bad because I feel like this was a terrible buddy read for people, but it was just so much action, and even finding out who the killer was, I just didn't care. That's so sad to say, but like, you know, this video is probably just like super not great, and I feel really bad about it, but there's nothing else I can do. I can't love the book more. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Did you love this book? Did you not like this book? And yeah, I'll see you in another video soon. Hopefully one that's not so terrible. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away.